Facebook. Got that done.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to have, I'm just going to go public. Don't care who sees it. Okay. So now the Zoom meeting is going out Facebook. All of my friends, family, enemies, whomever will be able to see such. So now the Zoom meeting, let me this out Facebook. All of my friends, family, enemies, whomever will be able to see such. Okay. So today's meeting, and many of the Facebook group should be awfully aware of what the mission is that I'm trying to set up with the assistance of members of the Divine Nine, and I'm not excluding the public at large, but I'm just trying to focus and see the energy that I can secure the efforts of specific members of the group who belong to sororities or fraternities. And it's not excluding anybody. But today we're talking to Stacey Scott-Msaki, who lives in the beautiful nation of Tanzania. Stacey is an extraordinary individual who has engaged herself in more ways than one as she ventured into new nation, Birmingham, Alabama. She's found her, I believe, the most fortunate thing she can find in life, and it's what she really dedicated her heart to do. So, everyone, I want you to, those who come in, and for those who might be listening, let's have a brief discussion with Stacey Scott-Msaki. Okay, Stacey, so who are you?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. And for those who are here with us, on the live, and for those who may be watching later, I apologize for not seeing my face here, but we're dealing with a blackout here. So I'm at my lodge right now, and where I have solar, where you could be able to see me, I don't have really good reception for internet. So I'm in the back of the property. And so we're in the dark. So I apologize for that. Um, but my name is Stacey Scott-Msaki. I am married to a Tanzanian, and AIM Tanzania is the name of our company, AIM Tanzania Company Limited. So we are a tour operator. So we operate tours on the mainland and in Zanzibar. We've been around for quite some time. We just recently rebranded, but since 2015, we've been here with our company. And just recently, we opened a lodge. So I have a small lodge with a restaurant and a small spa. Um, so we have let's see, we have cottages. So I have basically their home. So it really is like a home away from home. We have two bedroom cottages, one bedroom cottage, and a duplex. So there are two, like hotel rooms here. So it's like a very cozy place. We're located in Arusha, Tanzania. Um, in the village of Majia Chai. So we do things to give back to the community. My husband has been in the tourism industry since 2005, and I am a professional. Like I am a business professional, but also a medical practitioner. So we do things devoted to health and wellness. I am a TCM, so traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. We do volunteer tourism, wellness tourism. I host wellness retreats. And our lodge is, like I said earlier, is fairly new. So in the past, we've brought volunteers and tourists and, hosted their stays with other properties. So sometimes those that makes the price a little bit higher, but since we have our own property, we can control everything a lot more and offer more competitive rates. We are a small company. Um, And so sometimes I don't know, some people wonder about prices, right? So, and the work that we do, actually, we give back to the community. That's why we do volunteer tourism. Um, but yeah, so we do like community out wellness outreach events, and we just recently launched like this whole wellness program where we do community outreach on Wednesdays, offering free services to help with stress management, pain management, diabetes, and hypertension. And then we also do on Fridays, we do yoga and meditation. So just doing like restorative movement exercises, and giving people, something to do to help to lower their stress levels and just to get together. Community, like that's what we're all about. That's kind of the African lifestyle in general is about community. Um, yeah, so I have a Shopify store, and I know Tyrone has been helping me a lot. And thank you for those even on this call who have been supporting my shop by buying coffee. But we have different African blend coffees with free shipping in the US. So Tanzania coffee comes from the Mbeya region, the southern region, but proceeds, I get about $5 per bag that is purchased. It helps me to continue to support the community. Like, so when they come and they have tea, or to pay for acupuncture needles or massage oils or anything I use to help keep things clean. We use ear seeds and everything. They're not free for me, but those things like that help us to still provide these services to the community. I'm sorry, my kids are running back here. I'm sorry about that. So they're just coming off of a walk, so they don't know I'm back here. um, but yeah, so with I'm on a call. Don't be rude. I'm in the middle of a Zoom. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so they said sorry. Um, yeah, so we're doing community outreach events, and I'm sorry I got stumbled a little bit. Um, the biggest help that we can do with the community, because we're trying to build an entire wellness center. We built everything that we have from scratch. My husband, he designed everything. He's every building, he's been here for the entire process, and it took us 3 years to do this. But what really helps to support and is a major GDP for Tanzania is tourism. So when people come over and do tours with us, they pay for tours. We put that money back into the community. So we used to have a sewing program, and now we're doing outreach in STEM. So I have that going on this month with the Mama and Me event, where we're bringing in women and their kids and just doing some STEM ecology sort of activities. What I would like to offer to any members in the group, if you want to come as a group or as yourself, if you would do your tours with us and stay with us, your stay is free. You would just have to pay for your tours themselves. But as long as you're in Arusha, your stay would be for free, and you would just pay for your meals when you eat at the restaurant. And that's the beauty of being able to kind of have your own lodge. And we didn't do anything with a loan or anything, so we don't have any debt that we're trying to pay back. But yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. And like Tyrone mentioned, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, um, born and raised there. I went to medical school in New York. And yeah, so I love Tanzania. I love the people here. I love the land. And I love, I'm really passionate about what we do in the community. And that's why we have been doing this since 2015. And I think that's about it. I have to say, if there are any questions, I really appreciate having this platform to speak.
I
Um,
have a.
Go on, Mr. Sims. Go on, please.
How many people do you serve, and are they repeats on average?
Hmm?
How many people do you serve, on a weekly basis, and are they repeats?
They are repeats. And this program, we used to, until just recently, we used to go to the hospitals and take volunteers to the hospitals and do work there. So this is the first May is when we started hosting here. So on average, we see about 30 people per week, and they are repeats.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Stacey, so here's
Mhm.
my question, so people can understand the value that you're offering them. You and your husband own your facility, straight out ownership of it. And so
Mhm.
if I was coming to Tanzania to do a tour, let's say I use another service, how much would I be possibly paying each night for accommodation?
To pay for accommodations? I'm
Yes,
sorry, it cut out a little bit. You
yeah,
said to pay for accommodation?
yes, correct.
Uh, yeah, for accommodation. So we have basically 50 to $85 per night, which includes breakfast.
Okay,
So, but if you opt to do tours with us, you wouldn't have to pay to stay. You would just have to pay for your meals.
okay.
Mhm.
So um, you can accommodate how many people capable at this point, but I know you're going to grow and become bigger. But how many
Yeah.
people? Yeah,
Well, okay, so we can accommodate up to 10 right now. We have basically they're like homes, so it's not like a hotel or a guest house or anything like that. It's a lodge with cottages. So we have a one bedroom, one bath cottage. So of course, two people could stay there. We have a two bedroom, two bath cottage that could accommodate six people because they're double beds in one of the rooms. And then we have a two bedroom, three bath cottage, and that's the one that's 85 per night. Um, so, you have the sitting room, and that could actually accommodate six people as well, but you have like more entertainment kind of spaces. So it could be an extended stay sort of situation. Um, but yeah, and we have like two private lounges, two gardens, and it's just and a spa. So people could do spa services, they could relax, just come and not do anything. And so that's why we also host wellness retreats because we can do all of that stuff here. Sometimes you just need to get away from everything and just let everyone else do the work. And so this is one of those places that's really affordable.
right, right.
Do
Um,
you have pictures? Do you have pictures of your retreat per se?
The retreat, no, not here. This is the first time I'm hosting the retreat here, but in the other space, I have one in August. So that's at Mount Meru Game Lodge. I can show you pictures from that. Unfortunately, not on this phone. So I have them on my computer, and the computer is dead.
Right.
But I can
I was
post them
basically
out to the
saying,
group.
well, I call your cottages and your location that you own is basically like your retreat. This is something that you own. So that's what I was
Mhm.
asking if you have pictures of your cottages.
Oh,
So
yes, yes,
people will
I
see.
do. Uh-huh. And I actually yesterday I posted, I don't know if you call it a reel, I don't know what you call these things these days, but I posted because we have a guest that arrived last night. So before they checked in, I just posted some pictures like of the sitting room area, but I can post the all of it. Yes, I do have pictures.
Stacey, what you and your husband both have decided to do, it's not just about making money for self, so you can live a much lavish life, but unselfishly, you two have committed yourself to engage into a business enterprise where you have complete ownership of your facilities, you can control costs, and you can open up and have people to come and travel. So I have a good grasp of what you guys are doing, and that's why I'm going to work my butt off make sure that Tyrone McLean will come to your facility. That's a done deal. Maybe probably in 2025 to come and visit with you. But bigger than that is getting a group of people to come there, meet you and your spouse and your kids, and enjoy your facility. So, but what are your future plans for your business as you grow?
Future plans are just to expand a bit to offer more services that hit at the local community. So we're not just like kind of a global type looking for international customers. We have lots of local customers come here. So we really are like with the people. Um, yeah, with my brand, I just really want to reach more like artisans, support more artisans through my shop. So meaning like locals who are making things, I would buy those things from them wholesale and then retail them, but that helps them to support their families, and just make our organization a bit larger so that we can employ people. So that helps the community a lot because then they're able to support themselves. And like some organizations, they kind of give handouts, so to speak. And then, everyone's always looking for that handout rather than being able to support themselves. So our whole thing is when we do our workshops, it's about enabling or empowering others to be able to do the things and support themselves in the same way that we're supporting them in that particular moment.
Understood. Understood. So us here in America, we folks, whatever we might decide to say ourselves proper way, our buying from you through Ames International, right? Or did I mispronounce it? Yeah, correct. But
It's just AIM Tanzania.
yeah, yeah, I got you. Thank you so much for the correction. So when we buy from your website, as you stated, coffee, for instance, $5 of that goes into your coffer, so you can help assist people in Tanzania that are in need, correct?
Right.
Okay. Okay. And then you have a huge line of other products that skincare, herbal teas, as well. And I've gone through your website. You've got a huge selection of beautiful products. And I just want to bring more people the awareness that they need to be participating in what you are doing and understand the value that they would bring should they do participate. So we're not going to give up on that. And I hope that I can get more of the Greeks coming into this A's Delta community would-be organization,
Mm.
not just for the individual, but for their chapter here in America to take up the agenda to buy and support your products in order to support you. And I would like to challenge, like the council members of the Divine Nine, to one day find it within their grace to host a meeting at your facility. How does that sound?
Mm. Nice. Very nice. With
Yeah,
some coffee. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding.
Listen, yeah, go on.
No. I think there may be a delay. I didn't say anything after that.
Yeah. Now look, I always try to dream big with the possibility that of the thousands of dreams that might be big, maybe one of them might come realistic. It's time that we transition ourselves into that atmosphere of supporting businesses such as yourself that are heavily engaged. Geraldine, I'm sorry, you got your hand up.
Yes, Stacey, you said you're in the medical field. So
Mhm.
I want to know if you have broaden out in the medical area to basically give the shots or any those shots that people need when they're traveling to Africa. Did you broaden out to do that?
So for me, I'm on the Eastern medicine side, so non-allopathic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. So I don't give shots. I hope I'm answering that correctly, or answering your question.
Or the
Um,
vaccines,
I,
what I'm, yeah.
yeah, so no, I don't advocate either way for those because I don't have access to be able to do those.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. But what I do, because I'm more about traditional medicine, is to, I used to do my wellness Fridays all the time, just talking about stress management and keeping your immune system strong and healthy. That helps to fight off so many things. When your body is weak and you're not eating properly, or you're stressed out all the time, or you're not exercising, it's very difficult for your body to fight off viral infections and recover, even when you are taking medicines, or you're under the care of your primary care physician or whomever. If you haven't been taking care of yourself, it's very difficult for you to recover. So I really promote that more often than just talking about vaccinations and whatnot, if that makes any sense.
Of course, it does. It does. And I'm glad you made that statement. Um, I was just basically wondering because I know when people from the US traveling to any of the countries in Africa, they basically advise that we take certain vaccines or certain, they call them shots
Ah,
to come into the
ah,
country, such as the malaria,
mm-hmm.
such as the yellow fever and what have you. So that's the
ah,
reason why I inquired about that.
I think I misunderstood. I am so sorry. Yes, when I do I always chat with people before they come over here to talk about, what it's like to be here, how they should prepare. And one of those things is to go to their doctor, or to go to like a travel clinic, usually at universities, because they have people traveling, in and out all the time. They would know what is needed, if you tell them where you're traveling to. And so they make recommendations, and then they have access to your health information, and then they can advise you better to, like if you have a cardiovascular issue, then they can tell you, they recommend this, but maybe you can't take this. That's something that they would definitely need to see a medical professional rather than to make that decision on their own. But you can also go to the CDC website, not just for Tanzania, anywhere, and look up their recommendations for travel, and they will tell you about what's at risk and what's not. I know in Tanzania, the thing about malaria, you can take these pills, but you do that regimen like a couple of weeks before you come here. And then you continue it up to 2 weeks, I think, after you return back to the United States. And then depending on what you do when you're coming here, sometimes they recommend hepatitis B. Um, and what is it? Yellow fever, not so much an issue now, but if you're here and let's say you decide you want to pop over to another country, if you're in Africa and you're traveling to another African country, sometimes they require that you get the yellow fever vaccination. So those are some things when you're trying to plan your travel around, you have to do those considerations, because then if you don't do it before you leave the United States, wherever you are, you're going to have that before they allow you to, travel across the border.
Right. And so when I actually went, um, I was advised that there were at the airport at the country that I went to, you can basically get the shots there too. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we got there, of course it was late at night, but I could have gone that early that morning to get those shots, and the shots were very inexpensive there versus to what it costs here in the
Mm.
US. So that's one reason why I ask you about that, because the cost here for medicine is, or to take anything, is extremely high, but
Ah,
versus what it is over there. So that was my reasoning behind asking that particular question.
well, it's not mandatory here, so you don't, but when you come, like you said, you could do that. You could go and get a vaccination at one of the local hospitals here, and the price would be significantly lower than it is in the United States. But nothing here is mandatory. So you could, see your go to your traveling clinic doctor, and get the recommendations and then decide for yourself. Me personally, I haven't had vaccinations to come to Tanzania at any time, like traveling back and forth. The only time that I did a vaccination was when I traveled to South Africa to visit, and I was coming from here. So um, that's why I just have that personal experience with the yellow fever um, vaccine. But yeah, that's about it. But you could do that. You could, make that decision on your own. It's mine was a personal choice. But I haven't, knock on wood, had to fight with malaria or any other, you know, diseases.
All right. So, Stacey, I want you to walk me through. We're going to create a fantasy journey. So, I'm on an airplane now, flying to Tanzania. How long will it take me from America, say if it's Atlanta, to get from
Hmm.
Atlanta to your residence in Tanzania?
It would take you about 27 hours, depending on what um, airline you choose. I prefer Qatar because of the comfort of the airport when you get into Qatar. Um, that's really really important, but it is quite a bit of a journey. Normally, the layovers could last anywhere from averaging 4 to 5 hours. So that's why it gets to be a bit long. And I think it was just after COVID or that the flight patterns changed. It used to be you could get an 18-hour flight, but that was the least amount of time by way of Delta KLM, the
Okay.
Dutch airlines. And they go to Amsterdam and then to Kilimanjaro International Airport. So that's airport code JRO. So basically, that's how it works. But then, it could be upwards to 32 hours, and that's
Oh,
because of layover.
okay, got you.
It,
So
yeah, go ahead.
now
Sorry.
so now I'm over the flight. I'm getting off of the airplane. Uh, do I need a couple of days just to get my senses back on?
Well, I think, um, well, the first thing we pick you up at the airport. What I try to do is rest while I'm on the plane, right? And you feel like you're traveling against time. And yes, go eat. Um, wait, give me just a moment, please. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's no.
Kids, yeah, I am so sorry. Please stop. Wait just a moment. Wait just a moment. I'm coming. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, so you feel like you're traveling against time.
Okay.
So sometimes you feel like you're fully awake and everything, and after you come and you eat and you shower, that's when it hits you like I need to sleep, and you
Okay.
just sleep like a rock.
Okay.
So I always give people 24 hours to kind of get their brain into the time zone that it is here, but that's about it.
Okay. So I think you said something I was going to ask you. You already said it. So if I'm there, I just landed. I have a group of people with me. You've already identified that we're coming there. You and your husband will come and pick us up.
Yes.
Okay. So from the airport to your residence, how long does it take from those two destinations?
Takes about 30 minutes to get to our lodge
Okay.
from the airport. and we're in the region, the Mero region. So this mountain is the fifth tallest mountain in Africa, and you have views of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the tallest mountain in Africa. Um, yeah, so it just takes 30 minutes.
So I'll see all
Breakfast is
those
served.
beautiful scenic views coming in from the airport to your residence.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So now I'm comfortably engaged in the room that I'm going to rent from you or stay with. Um, will the restaurant be open, anticipating you got guests coming in at a certain time of the day?
Yeah, well, our staff is here 24/7.
Oh,
So the restaurant opens, start serving breakfast at about 6:30 a.m.
okay.
Until 10:30, and then they start getting ready for lunch, and we close at 11:30 p.m.
So you get 3 square meals a day.
Yes.
Wonderful. So now I've been there for 2 days now. I got comfortable where I'm staying in the restaurant and meeting your staff. Now I want to go on a tour. So pick me up from there. Where do I go? Where do you accommodate me?
Well, normally we like to take people to see to Moshi just to get a really up close and personal look at Mount Kilimanjaro, whether they're wanting to take a tour of the national park, Kilimanjaro National Park or not, which that's a half day tour. And then, you may spend one day in Arusha, maybe just doing town tours. This is the place of Tanzanite. There's the museum with the largest African museum in Africa, sorry, is the Cultural Heritage Museum, which is in Arusha. So I always like to, take folks over there. But then it's the tours. So it depends on what sort of tour you choose. The one that I normally choose has to do with the Ngoro conservation area, where you can see the big five. So you get a chance to see like more animals, um, and or like when people like to go to the Serengeti. Now the Serengeti is a 5 day sort of thing, because the Serengeti is so huge. You have to kind of move around the plains quite a bit. So every day you're in a different region. But I really like the Ngorongoro. So that's like a upwards to 3 day safari. You
Wow.
spend one day in Ngorongoro, another day at Tarangire National Park or Lake Manyara National Park. So you see different types of animals. Tarangire is known for the highest concentration of elephants in Africa. And Lake Manyara is known for, it's in the Great Lakes region, the Great Rift Valley, sorry, and also tree climbing lions. That's what they're pretty famous for. But you overnight, and then you spend some time with the Maasai at the Maasai Boma. So kind of talking to the Maasai tribe, um, going into their home, seeing what their lifestyle is like. They're not the largest tribe here, but they're nomadic, so they're the most famous ones. When they're talking about the people in their dress and everything. But as my husband says, African, the cultural lifestyle is all the same. So that's why when people are selling things in Africa, it's like the beadwork and the dress and everything looks the same because they're across the board, the lifestyle is pretty similar.
Gotcha. Sounds exciting. So any kind of entertainment that can occur at night that we can
Yes,
okay.
nightlife. The nightlife life here is really nice, right? So I was just recently talking to someone about a small group, and then the age group they like to hang out, right? So the live band thing, they can do live band hopping. Then sometimes there are day parties, lots of different things to do.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So there's an
Yeah.
endless amount of entertainment. I would think 24/7 in many
Yeah,
instances.
there's the hot springs, going to different lodges. Sometimes they have activities like horseback riding, bike riding, swimming, so you don't have to stay in the same place all the time. There's, plenty of stuff to do. And then what I normally recommend if someone loves the beach, because you can't come all the way over here and just do the beach, you have to see the animals. Like, who would come all the way to Africa, this part that has access to animals like this and not want to see them. But to go to Zanzibar, I would just recommend like 3 days. The flight from here is about 1 hour to fly from Arusha to Zanzibar. And the flight is about 150 round trip. And yeah, so there's so many things to do. The historic Stone Town. They've just added a submarine tour where you're submerged underwater. They do cruises. They do parties on boats and all sorts of things. You can do,
Wow.
if you're into diving, you can do a liveaboard. You can go out with the dolphins. Just like there's just not you can do like a 7 day thing, but you could spend 14 days here easily and still think you haven't spent enough time.
Well, now let me make sure through your services, you will arrange all of the cost factors,
Yes.
combination, and places like that. And then you have a guide in each of those areas should we decide to go to those places, correct?
Yes. We arrange everything.
Wow, wow, sounds so wonderful. So, what is your favorite dish since you've been over there? You know, in America, we have soul food, but what about in Tanzania? They have
Macaroni and
special
cheese. No,
what?
I'm just kidding, because that's my favorite thing to have.
Okay,
Um, yeah, but I really like they samosas, but they call them sambusas. I love chapati. It's just a flatbread to have it with soup or, beans and rice. I really like it a lot. But yeah, like I love egg rolls, so the samosas are right up my alley, and I love like chipotle, so the chapati and rice, like it's really right up my alley. But the food is really so delicious. It reminds me of home, the way that things are prepared and just how they put things together. Everybody loves to barbecue here. They like ugali, which I don't like, but it's kind of like grits a little bit.
oh,
Mhm.
they have a form of grits over there.
No, they don't do grits, but they do grind up corn, and I think on the west side it's called fufu.
Fufu. Oh, I've heard of that name before.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's endless amount of entertainment, countless number of places to go, unbelievable quality food there, and also outings at night. One here to go out and nightclubs and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right, the nightclubs, the beach. If you're in the Serengeti and you want to see the animals from the sky, you can jump in a balloon. They just
What?
added zip lining. Yeah,
Have
yeah, it's
have you been
balloon
in it?
safari.
Have you been in a balloon?
Me,
Yeah.
no, I have not been in the balloon. Clients have, but I haven't gotten up there yet.
Okay. Okay. But from what you
Mhm.
hear, those who've gone in the balloon, they enjoyed themselves.
Uh, Immensely.
Okay. So, for those who will be watching this later on, I've asked a lot of specific questions because I want to put you guys in the thought of thinking, should you one day decide to travel to Tanzania, uh, I want you guys to focus your attention on traveling and meeting Stacey and her spouse Safari. They offer what you hear, enormous amount of experiences. They have connections in any place that you would go to. They will prearrange those things for you. And I guess it's a matter, do you have different kind of tour packages, Stacey?
Yes, I do. And I can put them in the group. But they could be as low as like 899 to as high as 7,000. It just
Okay,
depends.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. So, to the Divine Nine members, for those of you who did not come, no problem. I'm sure something have detained you today, prevented your presence, because I saw some members who said they would be here. But this is the point of recording this, so you can take this back We're going to provide her website to you guys constantly throughout the week, products that you can buy. Now you know what your money will be going to. And if you have never traveled to Africa, or if you have traveled to Africa, do something for me. Let's go and support Black-owned business from a young lady from Birmingham, Alabama, and a husband who is from Tanzania. They have their own touring facility where they can accommodate you, overnight stay, good food as well, and stay on their premises. Let's support our Black businesses, not just in America, also in Tanzania. So for members in exploring the continent of Africa, for those of you who would like to maybe do a one-on-one with Stacey, please let me know. If you want to schedule Stacey, and we'll have to do this arrangement in advance, to meet with members of your sorority or fraternity, to lay out our plans for them if they can do so. Let's do it. Let's one day have nothing but deltas at her facility, AKAs, Zetas, Phi Beta Sigma, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi. I think we need to really understand the potential that Stacey has made available to us. We have somebody who we will get a chance to know before we travel to her facility. And I think what you've heard, she will meet you at the airport, 30-minute ride from the airport to her facility. She will accommodate you. So guys, I want you guys who can think big, not only think big, but those who can do big. I know a lot of us Black people spend our dollars in Europe. That's okay, nobody's beating you up about it. But I will beat you up if you can make a decision to go and support a Black-owned business as opposed to continue feeding your dollars into a big old gigantic well of greed. Um, this young lady is devoting her time, plus her husband and family, to helping other people who are in need. She's not selfish. She's not looking to buy a Mercedes Benz and all that kind of wonderful stuff and drive around and portray themselves as the upper class. That's not who she is. So, members of Exploring the Continent of Africa, I'm in it. I'm going to get in it. I'm going to stay in it until we get her a successful support from members in this group. I want you to buy the coffee. Of all the things that you can and will buy the coffee. You will be, as I am, I'm drinking some of her coffee right now.
Oh,
Yes.
Asante.
And I will continue to buy coffee from her. As I stated before, um, she does a great job. Once you order the coffee, you get a confirmation to your email address, also a status update, and then you're going to notice the coffee has been delivered. Now she does that exceptionally well, and I got to give her credit for that. So you guys, if you're pro Black business as I am, and if you're not, join us and become that way. We need and we're going to support our Black businesses. I'm adamant about it. So everyone, I hope what you've heard has caught your ear. I hope what you heard has encouraged you to maybe one day go out and share this with your sorority members. Again, I ask AKAs if you want to have a chapter meeting, one-on-one with Stacey, Deltas, Zetas, Omega Psi Phi, A Phi A, any fraternity or sorority, or if in fact you guys might want to unite, as the intent of this meeting today was, to bring Divine Nine members into this meeting, do so. Show up. That's what sororities are supposed to do and fraternities are supposed to do. We are supposed to show up and support our Black human beings and whatever efforts that are there. So I'm going to harp on this for a while because this little case that I have on my shirt, it means something to me. And hopefully other members of different fraternities who are in this group, guys, you can't be in this group and be dead. I don't need dead people to be members of this group. I need people who are alive, who are willing to do and give in support of Stacey, Scott-Msaki, and her husband, Safari. Okay? Anybody else? You have anything else to say, please?
Now, I want to say thank you again. Much appreciated for your time today. I ran back to get to this call. I was walking through the village, and the power is out, but I am still here, and I so appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey. Mr. Sims, I thank you. You might be away from your computer. Dr. Cook, you're always here to support everything that we do. And we're going to see, can we get a tour going to Stacey facility?
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, to the families of Exploring the Continent of Africa, sorry you couldn't make the meeting, but you got my recording to look at your leisure. And please get with me or get with Stacey if you want to do a one-on-one with her, or to have your sorority members to meet her. I'll do whatever I have to do to accommodate that, or your fraternity. Divine Nine, I'm coming at you. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much and have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care. Bye.